First up from Rashard Lee, David Njoku trade to the Redskins. Thoughts here, Harrison?
I don't think the Browns are trading him.
Okay.
I think all players
Agreed.
requesting trades right now with the uniqueness of this offseason due to the coronavirus, you're kind of stuck. So I would like the fit. I think it'd be a good, solid young option for Dwyane Haskins.
I think it's the best fit out there for him.
Yeah, and look, we did a David Njoku trade destinations video. If you guys want to go check that out on the channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications. I like the fit. Don't really think the Browns have any incentive to trade him because A, his value's low right now, and B, they feel like they can use him.
Speaking of fit, these NFL-themed face masks will fit perfectly for you. Go check out everything that our friends over at Fanatics have for you guys at chatsports.com/stay safe. They've got individual masks all the way up to 4-packs in a whole bunch of different styles, Harrison.
By the way, you get the 4-packs, the 3-packs. The more you go, better bang for your buck. These 4-packs, $29.99.
Probably go more because that way you can wash them and have the full, assortment of options available to you without them getting all smelly and
let's be
stuff.
honest, we're going to have to wear these for a while, so
Yeah.
you might as well load up on them. Chatsports.com/stay safe.
That link's in the comments and in the description. Super chat coming in from David Vielema. Is there a rift? I hope it's pronounced Vielema. Is there a rift between Kyle and John, Harrison?
I don't think so.
I mean, I think
Is this in reference to Mostert?
I think there have been times where they've butted heads, like any relationship. Like
All great partnerships in the NFL butt heads at times.
I mean,
look at Belichick and Brady.
Yeah, well, they broke up, though. So
after two decades.
Yeah, after a very, very long time for NFL. So I don't really think there's much of a rift there. I do think at times maybe stop letting Shanahan make some of the draft picks. Because there are points where he just falls in love with this guy, Joe Williams, and ends up not being that great.
Look, you have an elite young head coach who's been to a couple of Super Bowls and a fast-rising general manager. You're going to butt heads sometimes.
Yeah, and you know what? It's working pretty well so far. All right, Shanav M., do the Broncos have a top 5 receiving core, Harrison?
I don't think they're there yet. A lot of that's projecting.
Potential to.
Cortland Sutton has a huge ceiling. I think he continues to get better each and every year.
I thought he was damn good last year.
Yeah, he's really good. I loved him coming out of SMU. I think 2 years from now, almost no doubt about it, assuming they keep those guys together with Hamler and Jerry Jeudy, obviously, joining Sutton. I want to see how these rookies play, though, first.
Yeah,
I don't think they're quite there, but potential over the next 5 years, absolutely.
I mean, we would have had a similar discussion around Deshaun Hamilton, he and Sutton are going to make a great 1-2 punch, and only one of them has developed so far. So I think upside-wise in 2 or 3 years, certainly. Right this second?
Not yet.
Probably not there at this point. So I think it's a fair question. Now, question for you guys here. Who is the most underrated player in the NFL? What do you think here, Harrison?
Oh, man, that's a tough one.
A lot of great options. We'll get some shout-outs.
Underrated.
I messed up. Most disrespected player in the NFL.
Producer Brett reminded me. I've always been a Lockett guy. He's underutilized, insanely efficient. I think if you put him in, Kansas City's an extreme example. He's a no doubt top 7 receiver if he plays.
I see some good ones coming in that I want to shout out. Gabrielle says J.C. Jackson. I like that one. I do think Micro Mike, Matt Stafford, is underappreciated.
Grover Stewart, perhaps?
Yeah, Grover Stewart. Chandler, inside joke. Jaden says Chandler Jones. Aiden also says
Chandler Jones is a good one, because even though he's an all-pro guy, no one talks about him.
Yeah, he's I think a top 3 linebacker. Ooh, a good one here from Nod. Fred Warner is really good. Doesn't get much hype. I think that's a good one. La'el Collins, I like that one. I think Allen Robinson's in that discussion.
I like Levante David, especially for guys who've been around a while. I mean, he's consistently been a top 10 linebacker and doesn't get a lot of buzz.
My boy Shaq Barrett in there as well. All right, keep your votes coming. Let's go to Jalen's question now. Do you guys see Von Miller having a monster year in terms of getting more sacks than last season with Bradley Chubb and Jarrell Casey as his defensive line teammates?
They had 8 last year. I definitely think, who else is similar to this? Khalil Mack and Chicago both had downish years last year.
Down-ish, still 8 sacks.
Yeah, exactly. I think double digits certainly is what you're shooting for.
What he's mostly been
And
at.
look, he'll get, more occasional one-on-one opportunities now when you bring in a guy like Casey. If Chubb can stay healthy, a guy who continues to get better and better. I think 10.5 to 12 sacks is what you're looking for from Von Miller, and those other two guys get you, 6 to 8 apiece. That would be really well done.
Awful lot of Denver questions coming in from 38 Sniper. Could Drew Lock be Carson Wentz 2.0? I'm an Eagles fan, left out fan, so he kind of reminds me of Carson Wentz.
Well, you don't want him to get hurt all the time.
He didn't either right now.
But the skill set is intriguing. His mobility is underrated. He's got the arm strength. He's got an excellent arm.
The mechanics are not what you would consider typical.
Yeah, that's also true. I think the upside potentially, now Wentz is obviously a lot more proven, but could he be? Perhaps.
Super chat now from Micro Mike. Will the Detroit Lions sign Everson Griffin?
Be interesting.
I'm a little surprised Griffin remains unsigned. Maybe, I know he went through some personal issues, not this year, but last year. Maybe those have kind of come back up. But I would, if I'm an NFL team, I'd be all over Griffin because I'm going to need pass rushers this year.
At this point, I have no idea what his value is. Like
a couple million, 1 year deal.
Really? That shit, like $4 million? You think you can get him?
I still think between 4 and 8.
I mean, if I'm a team and I can get him for 6 or less, like I'm jumping at that. I think Detroit should certainly explore that. So who do you guys think the better defensive end is? Everson Griffin, Davion Clowney, obviously the two of the top guys still out there.
I go Clowney. I know that Griffin's a little bit cheaper, and maybe just in terms of pure pass rush ability, Griffin's a little bit better. But I go Clowney. I think overall he's a better player, and I think he's also going to make a bigger impact on all 3 downs.
Yeah, I agree with that.
From Brandon, how much money is George Kittle worth?
This is a tricky one. We had a joke in the office earlier about this.
Be nice.
As you guys love your George Kittle. I think he's between 13 and 15. I do think he's worth significantly more than the 10.8 or whatever that Hunter Henry gets.
Called 11.
If you could get him at like 14 and a half on a 3-year, 4-year deal, I think you jump on it if you're the 49ers. And keep in mind, too, he's in a unique situation where he can go to San Francisco and say, hey, it's not like you guys got just receivers that are big-time improving there. I am the number 1 receiver here. That's his leverage. So I think 14, 15 per is certainly something he's worth.
I think he's probably asking for at least 15. Jarvis Landry makes 15 per year.
Yeah, he's better than Jarvis.
I would take Kittle. I mean, maybe you're not going to get the 16 that a Cooks or a Hopkins made a couple years ago, but I think he's going to get receiver money. The question is it top 10 receiver money?
Yeah.
From Sonja Marie, if the Seahawks get Gordon/AB, I'm hoping for Gordon, where does their receiver room rank?
Well, Antonio Brown has to come out of retirement for that to happen. But although by the time this video gets posted, maybe he's unretired. The potential would be very high, but you also wonder how many games are those guys here? Does AB get suspended? Does Josh Gordon get suspended? Like, I think on paper it's for sure top 10 with Lockett and DK Metcalf.
And that's before you even start including tight ends. So
yeah, I like their tight end.
I love their 1-2 punch. Lockett, Metcalf. If you can bring in a Gordon or an AB, I think AB probably gives you more variance, both high and low, because it's Antonio Brown. I think top 10 could be very, very possible there. Gabrielle says O.J. Howard to the Patriots for a 5th. Harrison, the Bucs say no.
Yes. Yeah. No, they're not.
Bucs aren't doing it.
No. They're all in right now. Look, if a team's tight end 1 got injured and got desperate, offered them like a 3rd, they'd probably do it. 5th though.
I mean, they're going to use 2 tight end sets. They're going to start 2 tight ends. And guess what, guys? Gronk's going to be a part-time player this year. Yeah. He didn't play last year. He's not going to play every snap.
By the way, Gronk getting a 95 rating on Madden, biggest joke ever. He sucked 2 years ago.
Hey, Madden people who do the ratings, I respect the hell out of you guys always being 2 years behind. It's super impressive, right? All right, from David, 5 years, $75 million. $60 million guaranteed, which comes in at $15 million per year.
I think I'd do that. Maybe the guaranteed's a little high there, but look, you're talking about a consensus top 2 tight end, arguably the number 1 tight end in the league. Yeah. You don't have a true number 1 receiver. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Now, speaking of Kittle and other players, there are player-themed face masks available. They got the George Kittle one right there. Head over to chatsports.com/player mask. That will feature the entire available assortment of all these player-themed face masks. Some of the biggest players in the NFL, Drew Brees, Tom Brady as well. They're available in 2 packs, and there are some rookie versions as well for you Dolphins fans out there. Head over to chatsports.com/player mask to see what they have available today. And Harrison, we're going to need to wear them. It's just the reality that we're going down here.
Yeah, it's not going away anytime soon, so go ahead and check that deal out right now.
All right, John Asplin Jr., do the Saints have the cap space to re-sign Alvin Kamara?
I'll let you take that one. You're the cap expert here.
The answer is both yes and also no.
The Chiefs have proven you can pretty much make it work.
Thank you. If you can make it work for any one player in the NFL, it is easy. All you got to do is restructure this guy, add a fake year to this guy's
Trade that
contract.
guy,
boom,
whatever.
cut a guy, boom, you're in. There you go. But the Saints and every other team, they do have to make decisions, though, because you can't afford every player. You can afford any player. Different definitions there.
And on top of that, like at most, Breeze is playing 2 more seasons. Your money's going to go to a quarterback at some point. Like, I don't think it's Taysom Hill, but whoever it ends up being, like, that's going to take up a lot of cap space as well.
Honestly, the Saints' moves have made me suspicious that they plan on paying him. And I think that they're lucky that Kamara hasn't held out yet. They can, if they want to, they can make it work. That's how they send
He
Malcolm
needs a
Jenkins.
big year this year.
He does. I think. But I think that they're going to try, but he's got to come in at their number. Otherwise, they might just allow him to leave in free agency. All right, Reed Howard. Harrison, I'll let you take this one as our host of our Bears Report. Can the Bears make a Super Bowl run? Or Bears Now, excuse me.
Yeah, go check it out. YouTube.com/Bears Now. Posted a video earlier today. No.
Oh, God.
Like,
I thought he was going to say yes.
I had to pause. Look, they have a Super Bowl defense. No one's disputing that. The problem is, unless you get 2017 playoff Nick Foles,
They have Nick Foles.
for an entire season.
I don't need him for an entire season, just the last 10 games.
Sure. I won't say it's impossible. I do think the NFC is fairly open, but it's pretty unlikely. I think that really good chance at a playoff team, especially with the extra wild card spot.
I'd argue if you have a good chance of making the playoffs, you got a chance of making the Super Bowl.
I think that gap is widening. I don't see an 07 Giants team making a run to the Super Bowl.